Right, at some time or another, building decks, you're going to have a deck that doesn't do what you want it to do. Either because the initial configuration is off when you're building a new deck, or you've got an old deck that just stops working, becomes not obsolete, but disjointed. So I'm going to illustrate this by looking at Edric and then I'll look at Saskia. So Edric, 1 blue-green, and he's a 4/2/2 elf rogue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. This is a great political card because it takes some of the pressure off you. Because your opponents, especially if you remind them if they forget, if they hit each other instead of you, they get cards. They get more resources. They draw. Edric, I've had for... the glare is pretty bad. Yeah, I kind of need the light. How am I... Okay, I guess he's more visible there. So Edric, I've had for, at least 10 years. At least. Probably longer than that. And what had become apparent is some of the card choices I made were no longer viable in today's environment. For example, Trigon Predator. Trigon Predator is a 2/3 flyer for 1 green-blue, basically Edric's casting cost. When it hits somebody, it can destroy a target artifact or enchantment that they control. Well, the problem is, with so much random reach and so many flyers with the power creep that's come up, it's not getting through anymore. And then there was Trident Rider. Trident Rider is 3 colorless, 1 blue for a 1/4 flyer. Tap it, tap 2 of the creatures, return target permanent. So you can return lands to somebody's hand. And that just wasn't fast enough in today's environment. The setup time has shrunk considerably. Used to be, setup time was about 5 or 6 turns. If you didn't have a viable blocker, if you weren't attacking by turn 6, you're okay because nobody else was either. These days, by turn 4, you need some kind of viable blocker and you need to start executing your game plan in some way. By turn 6, you need to be executing your game plan in earnest. So what I did is I took 4 cards out of Edric that were not working, and then another 4 that I just didn't really want to play anymore, and I replaced them. So I took out specifically Trident Rider, Trigon Predator. I took out Ancient Tomb because it provides colorless, and I don't really need the colorless. The reason I had Ancient Tomb, you tap it and it gives you 2 colorless mana, you take 2 points of damage. The dream with that was on turn 1, I would play Ancient Tomb and then follow it up immediately with a Frostbringer. Frostbringer says each player can only tap 1 land during their tap step. And Edric, because it's all small creatures, I need to slow everybody else down. Prevent them from getting their big creatures that are going to threaten me, because all my creatures are small, not viable blockers. So I've got a lot of tricks in here, and Frostbringer is one of the tricks. If nobody can cast their big creatures because they only tap 1 land per turn, and I can cast all my creatures because the most expensive one is 6 for Sun Quan, Lord of Wu. Everything else is 4 or less. Oh, except for Seedborn Muse. Seedborn Muse is 5. So I replaced some of the cards. For example, I put in this Equilibrium that I just, Equilibrium, 1 blue, whenever I cast a creature spell, if it resolves, I may pay 1 to return target creature to its owner's hand. So if a threat does come down that I can't handle, this lets me bounce it back so I don't have to deal with it for a turn. It also allows me to bounce my creatures back so I can reuse their enter the battlefield abilities. Excuse me. After making the changes, I played a live game with Edric, and turn one I played a Flying Men. Flying Men is a 1 mana, 1 blue, 1/1 from Arabian Nights. Sophia clapped her hands, and 20 flying men appeared at her side, each well trained in the art of combat. So I got him down turn 1. Opening hand, I had Flying Men, I had Seedborn Muse, and I had Gaia's Cradle. I had some other stuff, of course. A couple of islands, I think. Don't remember what else, because they weren't really as exciting as turn 1 Flying Men. Turn 2, I think I played something, can't remember. Turn 3, play Edric, attack with the flying men, draw a card, and on turn 3 I had played Guy's Cradle. No, was it turn 2? Anyway, by turn 4 I had seen Board Muse out. And once I start the ball rolling with small creatures, poking people for just 1 point of damage at a time, 2 points of damage if it's 2 creatures, and so on, then I'm drawing more cards, getting more resources, more tricks. At some point, I'll almost always have a counterspell in my hand because I'll be drawing so many cards. And he really worked. In fact, it worked so well that it started to feel bad. It got to the point where I'd had 20 creatures because I'd cast Master Waves when I had 10 creatures out. Allurin was out. Allurin is a 4-mana enchantment that says anybody, whenever they feel like it, can cast a creature with CMC 3 or less as an instant. So as I'm drawing cards, if I have Allurin out, there's Allurin. Any player may cast a creature total CMC 3 or less whenever they feel like it, and without paying for it. So if I'm drawing a lot of creatures, and I've got this out, I can just play them for free at the end of the opponent's turn preceding me, so they'll be ready to attack immediately on my turn. So I had all these creatures and I was poking everybody, and I had counters in my hand. And I had Sun Quan Lord of Wu out, so my creatures couldn't be blocked in any case. And then I drew the Biomass Mutation, and I told the lads, do you want to end the game now, or do you want to keep going? And Slinger and Cube were kind of on the fence, and Long Pete said, no, I want to keep going, I want to play another round. Okay, so we played another round, I poked some more, I drew more cards. I felt really bad about it because I knew I had the game-winning spell in my hand, and I was just playing with them. I was taking the piss. So on the next turn, what I did is I reminded them I've got 20 creatures, I've got Sun Quan Lord of Wu, I showed them the Biomass Mutation, and I said what I can do is make all my creatures like 10/10s and attack all of you with 5 or 6 unblockable 10/10s each. And I'm conceding. I'm not going to do that. I am showing you that I've got the win, but I don't want to do it. So you 3 lads can finish the game. And so they did. And now I wonder if that was a fluke, or if that's what Edric is going to do. If it's what he's going to do, then obviously I'm successful at revamping the deck, at freshening it up. Which brings me to the question of, do I want to keep Edric for Prague, or do I want to make him Forest Drushna? If I make him Forest Drushna, I should make him even worse. Yeah, I don't know how I would do that, but I should put some more dirty things into Edric. So anyway, that's an example of a deck that wasn't working and just required a few changes. Now Saskia, this is Saskia week, right? I mean, I'm sure some of you are getting sick of seeing my videos. Goldfishing with Saskia, goldfishing with Saskia again. Hey, even more Saskia. What the hell's wrong with Saskia? So my goal is to make this maybe not the last Saskia video for a while, but one of the last. I want to put her to bed. I want to get her sorted out, and to do that I have to identify the problems. What are my problems? My problems are the majority of the creatures are 4 and 5, and I don't have a lot of card draw. I've put in some things to draw cards, but I don't have a lot of card draw. I probably have too many tricks, even though I don't have that many. I've got Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast, Stroke of Midnight, for instant tricks, and then for onboard tricks, I've got things that destroy artifacts or enchantments by sacrificing them. But if I'm not drawing enough cards, and all my creatures cost 4 or 5, that means I'm not casting them, barring ramp. And I've already seen a few games. If you've seen the Goldfish, and you've seen the games where the test games, where I'm not getting my ramp, I'm not getting my mana rocks, so I'm not casting anything quicker than I should. So if I'm casting 4 mana creatures on turn 4, and it's only 1, I'm casting a 5 mana creature following it up, I'm not getting ahead very fast. In fact, I'm falling behind, because everybody else is casting faster creatures, more creatures, because their ramp is working, or their threats are more threatening than mine. So what I want to do is I pulled these out. Where did the other one go? There's another card I pulled out. Where did I put him? Hang on a minute. Alright, I went ahead and grabbed it. So some of the things I thought I would do to improve my draw, to get more threats out. 1, Guardian Project. I can't believe I forgot about this. So 3 and a green, whenever a non-token creature comes into play under your control, and it doesn't matter how it entered. If it was exiled and came back, I draw a card. If I can't think of another. If say Vivian were to bring it out, if I were to -2 her whenever you can next cast a creature, go find a creature card with lesser CMC, put it on the battlefield, I would draw a card. So I can't believe I forgot about this. That's probably a good idea. And then threats undetected, to go find specific creatures. So I got this in my Dominaria box. 2 and a green, go find 4 creature cards with different powers and show them off. An opponent chooses 2, those get shuffled back in the library, and then put the rest in your hand. I'm not sure if I want to play this. It would get me 2 creatures, and there would be 2 creatures that I want, but since the opponent chooses out of the 4, I might not get 2 of the most relevant creatures. I would get something. So there's that. Natalia Keen-Eyed, 3 and a green for a 5/6 god who's indestructible. I need to check how many green pips I have before I really think about putting her into play, because if she will not be active, then she becomes less interesting. However, she does make my creatures cheaper to cast, and I can 2 and a green, show the top card in my library, and if it's a creature, put it in my hand. Otherwise, I can toss it in the graveyard. So that's an idea. And then Vivian Monsters Advocate. I played her a lot in an arena, and I really like her. Of course, she costs 5, so she goes right there with everything else for 5. So I'm not lowering my overall CMC. But I can cast creatures from the top of my library. I can look at the top anytime I feel like it. I can make this beast token. I don't like that you put a counter on it, because I don't use token cards. I use buttons, these little buttons that I got at the Notion shop. To put a counter on it, it becomes more difficult, so I have to remember which one is vigilant, reach, trample, whatever. But this -2, whenever next cast a creature, so if I cast, say, Sigarda, I can go find Mirren of Clan Telnoth. I can find Lavinia, not Lavinia. Who can I find? I can find Silence Mularcum. I can find Luris. I could find Zeotor's Envoy. So those are 4 ideas I had to shore up the weakness in the deck. The weakness of the deck is having high, not high, but 4, 5 is where my creatures really start. And like I said, I need to get them down faster. I need to get them down quicker so I can do what I want to do. What I wanted to do with Saskia was get her down, pick somebody after I have a few creatures that are viable attackers that can get through to somebody, and start hitting 2 opponents at once. The idea was I would use a lot of shadow creatures, and then in building the deck, I came to the realization there aren't very many shadow creatures. There just aren't. So the deck has 4. There are probably 2 more I could put in. I could put in Stronghold Overseer, but he costs triple black. He does have an activated ability where you can spend double black, and all creatures shadow get +1/+0 till end of turn. Creatures without shadow, I think, get -1, -0 till end of turn. And then there's also Soltari Monk. Soltari Monk is a 2/1 shadow with protection from black. I have Soltari Priest, who has protection from red, which is more relevant because red is usually doing those mass damage wipes, which Soltari Priest would shrug off. Soltari Monk, because black's idea of board wipe is just kill everything, damnation, damn, toxic deluge. Since it's not damage and not targeting, he's not going to survive, so I didn't bother with Soltari Monk. So, without as many creatures as shadows as I thought there would be, I had to start going with other creatures. And also, I had to take time to think about what is my real plan with her. When should I run her out? Because if I run her out too early, just naming the other player. When she comes to play, choose a player. Whenever creature control deals combat damage to anyone else, it also deals that much damage to the chosen player. Or if I hit the chosen player, it does double damage. So if I do that, just naming them, they know I'm coming for them. They know what's going to happen. And so I have a designated enemy. Until she comes out, nobody knows. Well, some people understand I'm probably going to pick them, but until I specifically do, it's not 100% certain. So maybe the plan should be keep her in the command zone for as long as possible, and then run her out when I do have a good board. But the problem is getting there. The problem is getting to a good board. So opening the Foundations packs, I got this guy, Loot, Exuberant Explorer. So 2 and a green. He's 1/4, so he's not a viable attacker. But he does have Exploration, to play additional land each of my turn. And then this, 4 double green. Tap. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may review a creature card of mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control and put it onto the battlefield. Is he cute? Loot. You like him?
Yeah.
I'm going to put him in a deck.
Saskia's deck?
Yep, Saskia.
And why is Saskia the commander or something, or the leader?
Because I wanted when she comes into play, I choose somebody, and whenever one of my creatures hits anybody, they hit that player also, or if it hits them, they take double, so I kill somebody quicker, or I can take out 2 players at once.
Really?
Yep.
Like take out, like the ones that are playing with you?
Yeah, kill them. That's the game. Kill each other.
Like completely take them out of the game?
Well, yeah, that's the idea of the game, is to kill people and take them out of the game.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you should play Magic.
No, so she can just do that on the beginning?
No, she costs 4 to cast, and I have to have enough creatures to hit somebody, so I start doing more damage. So I need to get the creatures out, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get the creatures out. Because I put too many tricks in the deck, so I need to take out some of the tricks, make room for some of these cooler effects.
Like what kind of tricks are in the game? I mean in this deck.
Like, Stroke of Midnight is a trick. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. That I'll stay because it's good to have. Then there's Red Elemental Blast. counter a blue spell or destroy a blue card in play. More of a meta decision than any.
It's a little alien guy.
Yeah, little alien guy. Little monster guy. Power Blast, which is the same thing, just different art. So I just run through and slap down the things that are definitely staying. So land, land. Haha, it's feathers in it. Look at my bird.
Hello, bird. Hello,
He
someone.
stays. Pyroclasm stays. Lure stays. Mana Rock. Land. Land. This can destroy anything that isn't a land, and my opponent gets a creature that,
Okay,
in almost all cases, doesn't matter.
bye-bye.
Papa. This guy. Do I want to keep this guy? I haven't used him yet. I don't know how good he is yet. So he has to deal damage. I don't know what Blitz does. I really don't remember. I've never used Blitz. I don't know if I have any other creatures with Blitz. But would he be better off if I... Would the deck be better off if I replaced him with, say, Nalia? Because her, she makes all my creatures cheaper. And I can see if there's a creature on top. Him, he has to deal damage. He's only a 5/4. We'll put him in the possible exclusions. Okay, so Tarek Priest, there he is. Protect from Red Shadow, he stays. Land. Fiend Artisan. So this is in here because what I can do is spend black or green, sacrifice a creature for 2 casting cost, go find another creature card at CMC X or less, throw it in the battlefield, and if I don't have Lurrus, I can go get Lurrus and then recast the creature to CMC or less, and then start the engine, because I can always recast that creature with Lurrus. Or I can go get Sun Titan, who brings it back too. Okay, land, finds land, land, land. Do I need these? So these are pretty narrow. Against a deck with a lot of blue, they are really good. Against a deck not running blue, they're a dead card. So maybe these need to come out. Guardian Faith, protect my creatures. Give my creatures haste and snatch a creature. Giving them haste, I only have 2 ways of giving all my creatures haste. I have Sarkhan and I have Urbrass the Hidden. So I need to keep haste enablers. Okay, land. Lightning Bolt dude. So as I discovered, as I realized playing it through, if I give him a sword, and I only have 1 sword in the deck, if I hit my opponent, I don't get the sword trigger if I redirect the damage, because it redirects the damage to a creature, so the opponent does not get hit. I do not get to destroy an artifact or planeswalker. But I can start taking out creatures. Small creatures, obviously, but still. A lot of utility creatures have 3 toughness. Protection, recursion, land, land, shadow. So this guy is really good to Lurrus. I can sacrifice him, cast a spell that he's exiled, and then recast him with Lurrus. And I can punch somebody for 3 points of damage. If Saskia is in play, I can punch 2 people for 3, or somebody for double. Ramp. Sigarda against last game I played with against Cube, he played his Big Eldrazi. Was it Big? No, he's got 3 Eldrazi decks. I'm not kidding. He's got 3. He's got 2 active and 1 that he's still tuning. Jesus Christ. He loves tentacle monsters. He watches too much hentai. So she would have been fantastic against that. And since he loves his Eldrazi so much, she's always good to keep in. Ramp. That I can recur with Lurrus, Sun Titan, Mirren, Mana Rock. Yeah. Elish Norn and haha, it's feathers to laugh. my opponent's creatures will die, unless they have counters on them, or some kind of other effect that gives them a higher toughness. Ramp, land, ramp. Builder Dust Witherboom. So he's in here mainly for the pay 10 life, untap all my lands. I've realized that's an incredible ability. That's really nice. That helps me get things done faster. He does cost 7, but if I have, I don't know, if I use Albert Cub and Mama's coming, and he sees Builder Dust Witherboom, then he'll come down and smash people. So I want to keep him in. Land, regeneration land, land. Excuse me. Baneslayer Angel. Flying, first strike, lifelink. Protection from dudes. Specific dudes. The first strike and lifelink alone is pretty damn good. And she's got the flying evasion, so I think she's worth keeping in. Okay, if I'm thinking of taking out Red Elemental Blast, I should also think about Pyroblast, which means if I reduce combat tricks, I need to rethink things. He's right on the verge of not being all that great in the deck. He does give me extra creatures to attack or block with, to sacrifice, and he's got Death Touch, which is pseudo-evasion because my opponents don't want to get the creatures killed. They're not going to want to block him. So I'm going to keep him in for now. Board wipe, need some kind of mass board wipe, at least one. Spore Fog. My opponents build a threatening board before I can get going, but I have Spore Frog out. At least he'll save me for a few turns. Conduit of Worlds. If I need something out of my graveyard, a permanent, and I'm in a tight spot, this will get it. Plus, the deck has 6 fetch lands. So 6 fetch lands, and if I put loot in, and I could play an additional land each turn, so I could play a fetch land out of my graveyard to Conduit of Worlds, and then if I have a land in my hand, I can play another land. So I think that's going to be a good combination. Murray's Wake. It's a great card. It's really good. The problem is it's a magnet for removal. The thing is, though, a lot of my opponents don't play a lot of enchantment removal, so sometimes it sits out longer than I expect. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I don't even get to untap with it. But it makes everybody bigger while it's there. Sun Titan. Get a fetch land back, get a Voidwalker back, get an Angelic Renewal back, get all kinds of things back. Hellkite Tyrant. Flying Trample, take their artifacts. I really want to try him, see if he works. Color Agnostic Method of Ramp. Shadow Spear. So something I'm doing in the deck is I'm putting in a lot of effects that could randomly help me. And one of these is permanent your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible. So I think that's a good combination. And it also gets +1/+1 trample and lifelink, which isn't bad. Not bad at all. Death Denied. I'm not sure, the deck isn't supposed to really play out of its graveyard. It's not. And I have Sun Titan to get back small things. I have Angelic Renewal to prevent something from dying. I have Mirren of Clan Tel Noth that'll get 1 creature back at the end of my turn, so if I have any experience counters. I have Volra's Stronghold. So I don't know if I need this. Land. Defense of the Heart. Beginning of the upkeep. If opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart. Go find Elish Norn and haha, it's feathers to laugh. Put them into play and wipe the board of everything that isn't yours. Crypt. Hammerheim. There she is, Mirren of Clan Tel Noth. It's funny how she's in the deck, sitting right next to Othari. So these two work together. They both give me experience counters, so they feed into each other as far as giving me more experience counters. She, of course, whenever another creature I control dies, I get the counter. At the beginning of my end step, not everybody's. So if it was everybody's, wow, that'd be fucking broken. Choose target card in graveyard. If it seems he is lessening experience counters, put it into play. If it's more, then put it in your hand. So recover it. And Othari, so 3/3 flying lifelink haste, not that big power toughness, but whenever he attacks, I do get the rebels, I do get the experience counters, and I get more rebels for the more experience counters I have. So if 2 creatures have died and Marin has seen them, I've got 2 experience counters. If I play Othari afterwards and I attack, then I get 3 experience counters and I get 3 rebels. And then at the end of my turn, if anything in my graveyard is 3 CMC or less, I can just play it. And then this, I wonder if I have any of the rebels in the deck. I don't think so. Because it says 2 red-white, tap an untapped rebel with control, return Othari from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And it doesn't have to be one of the tokens, it can be any rebel. But I don't think I have any of the rebels. Yes, Douthie Embrace. This is the backup plan to get things through. So the idea is have everything possible with evasion, flying at a minimum. But if that's not enough, I can start giving things shadow. So then they smash people. Land, mana rock, land. There's the Angelic Renewal. So whenever a creature is put in your graveyard from play, you can sacrifice this card. If you do, return that creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then you can recast this with Lurin, you can get it back with Sun Titan, you can start the loop-a-doop. This is really in here for Inferno Titan. So I would love to put this on Inferno Titan. That would be fantastic. Because when he attacks, I get 3 points of damage that I can assign any way I want. Well, if you got Death Touch, I can assign 1 point of damage to each of 3 creatures and kill them, unless they've got Indestructible. But then if I've got Shadow Spear, I can take away the Indestructible. Layers. I don't think I need this. Something I realized I don't have that I need to put in. I need to put in a way of dealing with graveyards. I don't have that. I overlooked that. So maybe what I'll have to do is rethink it and put in a Tormod's Crypt. And then to get back the Crypt, well, I've got Sun Titan. I've got Luris. So that will get back the Crypt. Okay, so I need to think about what to put in, take out for Tormod's Crypt. Target artifact creature card from graveyard and onto the battlefield under your control. Shuffle it back in your library. But do I need this? Do I care about my opponent's creatures in the graveyards? I've got sufficient ways of getting back mine. Now, Luris can only take 2 CMC or less. Sun Titan can only take 3 CMC or less. But I do have Volra Stronghold, and I do have Mirren. Mirren at least will put it back in my hand. Volra Stronghold will pull it out of my graveyard and put it back on top of my library. So I don't think I need Beacon of Unrest. High Market. There's Urbrask the Hidden. This is a new edition. This is to help me draw a card. So whenever another non-token creature dies, draw a card. Any non-token creature. So if I've got the aforementioned Inferno Titan, or if I have her, and then I trigger Defense of the Heart, and I go get Elish Norn and Haha, and I kill about 10 creatures, I'll draw 10 cards. Sounds good to me. Linvala, Keeper of Silence, another flying creature. Hopefully she can get through to somebody if I have Saskia out. But she stops my opponents from activating their creature abilities. Land. Saskia, Voice of Plenty. I've got Mikaeus in here, Mikaeus Hollowed. She does not work with the Mikaeus because if I start putting counters on my creatures and they die, If they're not humans, he will not bring them back because they already have counters on them. So, have to think about that. But she does give me my planeswalkers and my other creatures hexproof. So, that's nice. Soul Ring. Owlbear Cub. So, last testing it out, I did get Owlbear Cub and it simulated that somebody had 8 lands and Mama's coming. I looked at the top 8 and my Defense of the Heart went to the bottom of my library. And I was thinking, oh, damn it. And then the next turn simulated another attack and looked at the top 8 and Elish Norn was in there. Ooh. Tasty. So it's fun. It's probably not the best card for this deck, but it's just fun, and it will help me get creatures out faster. Bone Shredder comes into play, terrorizes a creature, and Sun Titan can bring it back. Yeah, Lurrus can't bring it back because it costs 3. Of course, getting 3 experience counters is not terribly difficult. So there's that. Blood Baron of Vizkopa. Lifelink protection white, black and white. So the protections are relevant. The lifelink is relevant. This other stuff that usually doesn't matter. Maybe I should consider it. He's a card I want to play. I like him, but maybe he just doesn't fit. Land. Toski, Bear of Secrets. The reason I put Toski in here is because it's all the 4 of them. The 4 creatures of shadow, but the ability to give other creatures shadow with Doubt the Embrace. The other creatures with flying or trample. I should get something through. And draw some extra cards. Maybe Guardian Project is better. Probably Guardian Project is better. Although he is an attacker. Not very viable, but this would kill him if I cast it. Hideous Laughter. Instantly give all creatures -2/-2 until end of turn. If that Highborn Hunter is in play, draw cards. Inferno Titan. Yes, he stays. Land. There's Mikaeus. So, if I had Mikaeus, Toski would be a 2/2. If I did Hideous Laughter and Toski died, he'd come back as a 3/3. Still, he has no evasion. He has to attack each turn, so he can't block for me after the first turn he's in play. Yeah, maybe Guardian Project is better. There's Cosmic Caterpillar. Sack it, blow up an artifact or enchantment. Land. So sorry, Visionary. When the Visionary damages any player, I can destroy an enchantment they control. He's pretty cool. Seal of Cleansing. Onboard Disenchant. I can get it back with Lurrus of the Green Den. Questing me. This guy's funny. He's got all these fucking abilities. Death Touch, Haste, Vigilance. Can't be blocked because you're just all this shit, right? And, he even stops Fog. So somebody casts Fog, they're still taking the damage. But hardly any deck plays him that I see. None of the lands I play with use him at all. He doesn't cost that much. His financial value isn't that high. But he doesn't really have a home anywhere. He's just kind of okay, you're playing these colors, he's a cool creature, you can slide him in. I suppose somebody playing a beast deck is going to want him, but otherwise, he doesn't really work with that many things. He's just cool in there. Land. Cool Wrath Knight. So this cool motherfucker. If my opponents are putting counters on their creatures, then they can't attack me or block me. So, yeah, he stays. Alright, so let's see what I've got. So I've got 7 possible exclusions. I've got 5 possible inclusions. And I should probably put Aurelia back. I should probably put her back in. So that's 6. If I do all of them. Let's do 1 for 1. Let's take out Toski for Guardian Project. Because even though Toski will draw me cards, if my creatures can get through, I have to get the creatures through. I have to have the creatures in play. Maybe I'll put them back. Maybe I will regret this decision. Put it back. I should probably throw in a Sterling Grove. So that's another. It just feeds into every. You only have so many slots, and everything that you want to put in requires you to take something else out. So Beacon of Unrest. It just shut off. I hope it shut off before I was talking about Death Denied. So if I take out Death Denied, how many green pips do I really have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be unreliable because it'll be in the graveyard most of the time. 5, 6 from her. 7. That's going to go to the graveyard, so that's not reliable. 8, 9, 10, not reliable. 11, 12, not reliable. 13, not reliable. Kind of 14, 15, 16, 17. So I guess I do have enough green pips to possibly activate Nile as a creature. She will make my creatures cheaper. And that is one of the problems I am having, is my creatures costing too much. And I can find her with Sterling. I'm going to put in Sterling Grove. I'm going to do that. I don't remember where I have it offhand. Maybe it's in this box here. Let's take a look. There it is. So there's Sterling Grove. Set this box back over here. Okay, so if I put in Sterling Grove, suppose I should take these out. I'm probably going to regret this, because these will kill Jabari. These will kill Jabari and make Long Pete cry. Maybe I don't want to make Long Pete cry. He loves Jabari. I just don't want to get hit with Jabari. I could put a Maze of Ith in this deck. I do have an extra one. But then that's starting to pull away from the overall theme of the deck. Theme of the deck is play cool creatures with relevant abilities, smash people. Once I have a good enough board, put out Saskia, smash somebody twice as fast, or smash 2 at once. And every combat trick, every trick I put in, takes away from the creatures that I want to be smashing with. So it's a tightrope, isn't it? And because Saskia doesn't have blue, my combat tricks sometimes, aren't that great. Let's put in Aurelia instead of the Pyroblast, so I can get double the attacks. Saskia will deal twice as much damage, split among 2 players, or double damage to somebody else. Aurelia will double my attacks. So she's probably a good idea. And then I'm left with this. So Vivian, get my creatures out faster. He will actually attack. And I bought him for this deck. I bought him for to be in here. So to take him out now, it's kind of like, son of a bitch. Or threats undetected. I can go find things like, I can just get Sun Titan, Luris, Loot, and Owlbear Cub, and see what happens. 5/4 trample. Look at the top card. So he does feed into the deck. He does do what I want to do. Okay, if he had flying, I would not be doing this. If he had flying, I would not be taking him out. I like him a lot. I've got one in Edgar Markov. And a lot of people say it's a card that it's a crap card, shouldn't be in there, and I disagree. I think he's pretty cool. I like him a lot. So what do I want? Do I want to go find 4 creature cards and get 2 of them? Or do I want something that's more reliable? Something that I can cast creatures from the top of my library. Okay, threats undetected. Yes, that was a highly scientific method of selection. So I wonder how this deck's going to work now. I wonder how it's going to run. I'll do some more gold fishing because I know how much you lads love that. Alright, let's open a pack. Let's open this pack. Let's hope I get something good. Hey, I got another raccoon. That's pretty good. I like the raccoons. Elf Warrior. Look, he's got a cigar. I think that's hilarious. He's like a Rocket Raccoon. I like that guy. Oh man, in foil, that'd be beautiful. 3 for 2, whenever another creature control enters, you gain 2 life, gain 1 life. Okay, that's useful. That's pretty good. Hey, Mocking Sprite. Look at me, everyone. I'm a high fae. Watch me do important high fae things. Cub Waltz. Sword of Chaos. Target creature can't block this turn. Maybe that'd be useful in some deck. That guy's just fucking ugly. Isn't he? He's an ugly bastard. Hey! Heir Apparent. These are actually worth a little bit of money. Fleeting Distraction. Meh. Inspiration, what does this do? 3 mill 3 cards and bring an instant sorcery from graveyard to your hand. And you flash it back for 7. But it's any instant sorcery. Doesn't matter how much. Okay. Then Pergamon. 2 for a 2/2. Whenever he attacks, you may sack another creature. If you do, draw a card. This creature can't be blocked this turn. Twin Blade Blessing. I think this is worth some money too. Ooh. 1 double white flash. Enchant creature, and it gets double strike. Maybe that would be good for Saskia. Snakes and Veil. Plus some counter target creature control. Gains hexproof. Okay, this is a reprint with new art. Neat. Extravagant Replication. 6. Beginning of upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent you control. That could be interesting. targets, so I'm not sure. I couldn't put in Kestia because I've got a lot of things to protect my enchantments from being targeted. Get some Shroud. Gorn, okay. What is this? This is a Minotaur check. 5, 4, 4, 4. If you attack, deals 2 damage. Okay. Let's open another one. Fuck it. Fuck it. That was not very impressive. That was not very interesting. So I get a kitty cat and a kitty cat. Fake your own death. Till in turn, gets +2/+0, dies, bring it back, and you get a treasure token. There's a lot of these abilities now, a lot of them. Courageous Goblin. Yeah, that's a very colorful spider. Another Dazzling Angel. Another Mocking Sprite. A Fanatical Firebrand. Haste, sacrifice a creature, deals 1 damage to any target. Okay, so it's like Mog Fanatic. Mog Fantastic. Wary Thespian, what does this guy do? Cat Druid, 2 for 3/1. When it enters or dies, Surveil 1. Dauntless Veteran. 3, whenever it attacks, creature go +1/+1 till end turn. Heroic Reinforcements. Create 2 1 white soldier, created sorcery. But when you cast it, they gain haste, so there's that. Hey, Exsanguinate. Each opponent loses X life, gain life equal to life losses. Solemn Simulacrum. Okay, that's not great from a rare, but it's useful. Krinko, Mob Boss. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's the new art for Krinko. I like it. I like it better than the other Krinko. And a foil Nighthawk. And a ooh, look at that. There's Liliana coming out of the crypt there. Oh, that's a cool swamp. I like that. Okay, that's not a bad pack. Right then. Time to goldfish.